Have you ever seen someone who looked completely ordinary until the moment their past shattered every assumption about them? This is the story of a woman whose silence was mistaken for weakness until a single whisper changed everything. A Navy SEAL medic once questioned her training, doubting whether she had what it took to stand beside America's most elite warriors. But her quiet response, Ghost Division, 3,420-meter record, was enough to leave the entire room stunned. Stay with me, because by the end, you'll understand why even the toughest warrior saluted her name. And before we begin, don't forget to subscribe, because we bring you stories of hidden courage and untold legends you won't find anywhere else. The Navy SEAL training compound was alive with energy that morning. Recruits were running drills, medics checked their equipment, and instructors barked commands over the sound of ocean waves slamming against the shore. Among the group was a woman, calm, focused, yet strangely out of place in the eyes of many. Her name was Captain Elena Cross. To the untrained eye, she was just a transfer from another unit, an outsider who had somehow found her way into a place reserved for legends. She didn't boast, didn't brag, didn't flaunt her record. She simply worked with quiet precision. But in the SEAL community, respect is earned in sweat, blood, and proof, not in silence. And so whispers began. Who is she? Why was she here? One man in particular, Corpsman First Class Derek Hale, a decorated SEAL medic, didn't hide his skepticism. During a tactical medical exercise, as Elena stitched a simulated wound with calm expertise, Derek leaned in and muttered just loud enough for others to hear. Textbook work. But I wonder how much real training you've actually had. Paper drills aren't the same as battlefield blood. The words stung not because they were cruel, but because they echoed what many thought. She was an unknown, and in the SEALs, the unknown was distrusted. Elena paused, setting down her instruments. For a long moment, she said nothing, letting the silence stretch. The other men smirked, waiting for her to falter. But instead, she leaned closer, her voice so soft that Derek almost didn't catch it. Ghost Division, she whispered. 3,420 meters. Derek froze. His smirk vanished. The room shifted. Everyone stared at her, the weight of her words sinking like stone in water. T.O. understand the impact. You need to know what those two words meant. Ghost Division. It was a name whispered in classified halls, a unit that officially didn't exist. A group so secretive that even some generals only heard rumors of their missions. They operated in the shadows, beyond recognition, taking assignments deemed impossible, where success was survival and failure meant erasure. And then the number. 3,420 meters. For context, the world record for a confirmed sniper kill hovers just above 3,500 meters. A shot so far it defies belief. To hit a target at that distance requires not only perfect skill, but also the ability to read wind, humidity, temperature, even the curvature of the Earth itself. It's a shot that can only be made once in a lifetime, if ever. And Elena had whispered it as casually as if she were recalling the time of day that Derek's eyes narrowed. You were Ghost? He muttered, disbelief tightening his throat. Elena simply picked up her instruments again and resumed her work, as though nothing had been said. She didn't need to explain. The truth had already sunk in. That night, the whispers grew louder. The SEALs who once doubted her gathered in the mess hall, their voices hushed but urgent. Stories began to surface, fragments of rumors they had once dismissed. A female operative in the mountains of Cunner who had saved an entire ranger platoon. A mysterious sniper in the Syrian desert whose bullet had ended a high-value target from nearly 3.5 kilometers away. A ghost who appeared in after-action reports only as a code name, never a name. Derek, unable to let it go, sought her out after lights out. He found her sitting alone on the dock, staring into the black water. "Why didn't you tell anyone?" he asked quietly. Elena's eyes didn't leave the horizon. "Ghosts don't tell their stories," she said. "We leave them buried." "But why are you here?" "With us." Derek pressed. Finally, she turned to him, her gaze steady. "Because ghosts don't belong anywhere. And maybe here, I'll find something worth belonging to again. The next weeks changed everything. Elena didn't just prove her worth, she shattered every doubt. During live fire exercises, her aim was surgical, her movements flawless. In survival training, she outlasted men twice her size, pushing beyond exhaustion without complaint. And in combat simulations, her instincts saved teammates again and again, anticipating threats before they unfolded. But the real moment of truth came during a joint training mission with NATO forces. A surprise scenario unfolded, a simulated hostage rescue gone wrong, complete with unexpected variables that sent chaos rippling through the team. Communications were jammed. Navigation was compromised. Panic began to set in, and then Elena stepped forward. She took command not with authority, but with certainty. She guided the team through alternate routes, anticipated enemy ambush points, and orchestrated a flawless extraction. When the debrief ended, the instructors admitted privately, without her, the mission would have failed. For Derek, the transformation was personal. Once her loudest skeptic, he became her fiercest defender. In the barracks, when others whispered, he silenced them. On the field, when doubts arose, he reminded them of her record. Slowly, the unit's suspicion turned to respect, but Elena never basked in it. She never bragged, never boasted, never sought recognition. She carried herself with quiet humility, haunted by ghosts only she could see. One evening, as the sun set over the compound, Derek approached her again. "That shot," he said softly. 3,000 for 120 meters. "How?" For a long time, she didn't answer. Then she whispered, "It wasn't about the shot. It was about the men it saved. The ones who never knew who pulled the trigger. That's all that matters." And with that, she walked away. Elena Cross was no longer just an outsider. She was no longer the woman who didn't belong. She had become something more powerful, proof that legends don't need a shout. Sometimes they only need to whisper. And so, when you hear the words Ghost Division, remember Elena. Remember the 3,420-meter record. And remember that true warriors don't fight for recognition. They fight so others can live to tell the story. Because in the end, the deadliest force on earth isn't the one who boasts the loudest. It's the ghost who needs no name. And if this story gave you chills the way it gave me chills writing it, don't forget to subscribe, because we'll keep bringing you the hidden stories, the untold legends, and the extraordinary truths behind ordinary faces.